This is June 2005. Let's start. Okay, this is question number 8 and it's circles. Now before talking about circles, let me give you a little review. If the equation of the circle is in this format, fx plus gy plus h constant equal to 0, then the center is going to be the coefficient of x divided by minus 2 and the coefficient of y divided by minus 2, and the radius would be square root of x coordinate of the center, which is f by minus 2 whole squared, y coordinate of the center g by minus 2 whole squared, and minus the constant which we have here. So question number A is find the center of the circle, which is A, and the equation of the circle is given. So this is going to be center equals to the coefficient of x is minus 10, so it will be minus 10 divided by minus 2, and the coefficient of y, there is no coefficient of y, so it is 0, so 0 divided by minus 2. So this is going to be 5 0. That's the center. Question number B, they ask for the radius of the circle. So radius equals to square root of x coordinate of the center whole squared, y coordinate of the centered whole squared, minus the constant. Now the constant is plus 9, so minus of this, so square root of 25 minus 9, so this is going to be square root of 16 equals to 4. Done. Now question number C, let me do it here. The coordinate of the point at which the circle crosses the x-axis. So crosses the x-axis means where does the picture cut the x-axis? So at x-axis y equals to 0. That means x squared plus 0 squared minus 10x plus 9 equals to 0. So x squared minus 10x plus 9 equals to 0. Let's do middle term break. 9 ones are 9, so we need minus 10x, so minus 9x minus x plus 9 equals to 0. So if you take x common, it will be x minus 9. If you take 1 common, minus 1 common, x minus 9, so it will be x minus 9 x minus 1 equals to 0. Therefore x equals to 9 or x equals to 1. So when you have to find the where does it cut the x-axis, remember they ask for the coordinates. Be careful whether they ask for the x-axis or the coordinates. So the answer would be in this format, otherwise you will not get the A1 marks. X coordinate is 1 and y coordinate is 0. You don't need to find it, because at the x-axis y equals to 0 and 9 and 0. So that's the sum. The next one, given that the line L has gradient 7 by 2, is a tangent to the circle and that it touches the circle at the point T. So find an equation of the line which passes through A and T. So one thing you have to know is about basic geometry. This sum deals with basic geometry. Now this is going to be, if you have a circle and the center of the circle is A, which is 5 0, and you have a tangent at the point T, so this is the tangent. So the basic geometry is the radius of the circle and the tangent makes 90 degree. That's the basic geometry. So the first thing that you have to do in order to find the gradient of the line that passes through AT, you have to remember that the gradient of the tangent is given and the gradient is 7 by 2. The line L with gradient 7 by 2 is a tangent to the circle. So this tangent has a gradient 7 by 2. So we can write gradient of tangent is 7 by 2. Then you can write gradient of AT, which is the radius. You can write this is the radius. This is perpendicular, so negative reciprocal, so minus 1 by 7 by 2, which becomes minus 2 by 7. So we know the gradient of the line that passes through AT as minus 2 by 7, and we can easily do this sum. So equation of AT line, it is going to be y minus y1, which is 0 because it is passes through the point A, 5 0, minus 2 by 7. X minus x1 is going to be 5. So this will be 7y equals to minus 2x plus 10. Did they ask for any special format? They didn't say anything. Find an equation of the line which passes through a and t. So we can keep the answer in this format. That's fine. Let's move on to the next sum. So the next sum is question number 9, and this is a GP. Now the first thing that we have to prove is we have to prove that the sum of n terms is this. Now let me remind you a little bit about GP. Geometric progression is a series that goes on like this, and we multiply by the same number. We keep multiplying by the same number and we get the next term. So arithmetic series, we keep adding or subtracting by the same number. Here we keep multiplying or dividing by the same number. So the nth term is a r to the power n minus 1. That means u1 is a, u2 is a r, u3 is a r squared, u4 is a r to the power 3. You get the idea. Now the sum of n terms, of course it should be sum of the first n terms. So there are actually two formula. One, if r is more than 1, be it positive or be it negative, we call it divergent series, and the sum of n terms formula would be a into, since r is more than 1, r to the power n minus 1 divided by r minus 1. But this is not the case here. This is, they're telling us to prove conversion. So if r is less than 1 or more than minus 1, we call it convergent. And convergent series has a formula which is sum of n terms a into 1 minus r to the power n 1 minus r. One more thing, if it is convergent, it has one more thing called sum of all the terms, or sum to infinity, which is written as a by 1 minus r. We just get rid of this term. This can only happen if it is convergent. So this is the basic rule. Now we have to prove that sum of the n terms is this. Now in order to do that, the first thing that we do is write the sum of n terms like this: u1 plus u2 plus u3. So u1 is a, u2 is ar, u3 is ar squared, and on till the last term, which is a r to the power n minus 1. So what I'm talking about is we are just writing sum of n terms like this: u1 plus u2 plus u3 and up to un, because sum of n terms, you're just adding up the term. That's what's happening. And I'm putting the value of u1 as a, u2 as ar, u3 as ar squared, and so on. Then what we can do is we can multiply r and write it again as ar plus ar squared into r is ar cubed, and it goes on like that. And the last one will be ar to the power n minus 1 into r is n minus 1 plus 1, which will be r to the power n. So this is how it is working. Now if this is, for convenience, let me call this equation 1 and let me call this equation 2. So we need the r to the power n later on. So we need this one, 1 minus r. It should be this minus this. So we can write subtracting we can write equation 1 minus equation 2 like this. So it will be Sn minus r Sn. Now if you subtract this minus this, what would happen? Everything will cancel out. This and this will cancel out. This and this, everything will cancel out. Only two things will remain. The first one, a, minus the last one, a r to the power n. These two will remain. So if we take Sn common, it will be 1 minus r, and here if you take r common, it will be 1 minus r to the power n. So divided by sum of n terms convergent, a 1 minus r to the power n divided by 1 minus r. So this is the first proof. Now the next one. Remember, the basic sum of any GP is find the nth term and find the sum of n term. That's it. There's nothing else to it. So here Mr. King will be paid a salary of £35,000 in the year 2005, and Mr. King's contract promises a 4% increase in salary. every year. First of all, let me write down the first term. The first term is going to be 35,000. Now the common ratio, let me remind you the common ratio, how to find the common ratio when it's percentage. So percentage common ratio. Now the way to find the common ratio is usually the basic rule. The basic rule is just like in common differences, you subtract u2 minus u1, u3 minus u2. Here you divide u2 by u1, u3 by u2, any one, just the next term divided by previous term, you'll get the common ratio. But here they have given the common ratio but in percentage. When they give the common ratio in percentage, this is how we find. Common ratio means 4% increase. So if it is increase, it means whatever percentage you add it with 100%. For example, it is 4% increase, or if it is x% increase, it would be 100% plus x%. That is the common ratio. If it was, this is increase. If it was x% decrease, it would be 100% minus x%. That is for decrease. So remember this special rule for percentage sum. And many times we see the percentage sum. So what we have here is r equals to 4% increase. So 100% plus 4% is 104%. So 104% means divided by 100, that would be 1.04. That's the common ratio. So let's do the sum. So we have to find Mr. King's salary in the year 2008. Now let me tell you the law of counting. This is also this comes in handy when you do this percentage geometric ratio sum. So what we have to do is you consider this. Let me write it down. Law of counting. So when you want to count years, if you want to know how many years it is, you take the last year first, then subtract the first year, and you add 1. That's the law of counting, and you'll know how many years there are. For example, from the year 2000 to 2010, if I ask you how many years there are, you will say 10 years, but actually no. If you do it mathematically, 2010 subtract 2000 is 10 plus 1, 11. So there are 11 years. So let's continue here. So we want to know how many terms in the year 2008. So it starts from the year 2005. So n equals to 2008 minus 2005 plus 1. This is going to be 2008 minus 2005 is 3. 3 plus 1 is 4. So it will be 4 years. So what we have to find is the term. That means nth term. Be careful. Total means sum, and the particular term means nth term. So we have to find u4. So it would be a r cubed. That would be 35000. R is 1.04 and cubed. So let's calculate this. So 35000 multiplied by 1.04 to the power 3. This would be equals to 39370 39370.24. 39370.24. Okay, now if you keep the answer like this, you'll lose a mark, because they have told us write down the answer to the nearest 100. So answer is nearest 100 should be 39,370. So it should be pound 39,370 becomes 400. That is the nearest 100. That's how we write down the answer. Question number C is Mr. King will receive a salary each year from 2005 until he retires at the end of 2024. So he's going to get a salary every year. Now we have to find the total salary that he'll receive. So the total salary, first of all, we have to write down n equals to 2024 minus the first year is 2005 and plus 1. So let's find the number of terms. So this would be 2024 minus 2005 plus 1, that would be 20. So we have 20 terms, and we know the first term is 35,000. We know the common ratio is 1.04. So we have to find the sum of 20 terms, and we have proved it in the first question. It is a into 1 minus r to the power 20 divided by 1 minus r. So this is going to be 35,000 1 minus 1.04 to the power 20 divided by 1 minus 1.04, because they are asking for the total salary. So let's calculate this. Be careful when you calculate something like this, because there can be a problem because there is division as well. So let's start from the innermost bracket. I'm going to start with this 1.04 to the power 20. So 1.04 to the power 20. This is this. Now it's loaded in the answer, so I can write 1 minus that thing equals to this. So I got this. So it is this one. Now I need to multiply it with 35,000. Multiply by 35,000. I'm getting a negative, so I made a mistake. There has to be a mistake. Oh, the mistake that I made is I used the wrong formula for sum of n terms. That's the mistake I made, because r is more than 1 and I used the convergent formula. I used 1 minus r. So that's the mistake I made. So let me correct this. Remember, if r is more than 1, it cannot be this formula. It has to be the divergent formula. It should be r to the power 20 minus 1 divided by r minus 1. So it's a trick they played. At first they told us to prove the convergent, but here r is more than 1, so it will be divergent. So let me write it down. 35,000 1.04 to the power 20 minus 1 divided by 1.04 minus 1. Okay, now let me calculate. It will be alright now. So 1.04 to the power 20 is this one minus 1. Okay, now multiply by 35,000. It is this divided by 1.04 minus 1 is 0.04. 0.04. So it is 1042232. 1042232. 2232. So 1042232.75. 0.75. So 1042232.75. Now the answer is not done yet. We have to write down the answer to the nearest thousand. Now this is 1042000. So this is 2200. So it will be 1042232. So 2000 nearest thousand is going to be 2000. Always check, as they mention, nearest thousand and so on. So it is 2232. So the nearest thousand is 2000. So 104 2000. This is how it's going to work. The next one, this is area. We have to find the area under the curve. Now question number 8, the first thing that we have to know, we know this point. This point is 1 and this point is 4. So we have 1 and 4. So the area would be something like this. Area would be limit 1 to 4, equation of upper one we have a line L minus equation of the lower one is a curve dx. That would be the area. Now for that we need to know the area of this, of the equation of this line. Now the equation of this line can be found like this: when x equals to 1, y equals to what? Let me put it here. So 2 1s are 2 plus 8 by 1 squared minus 5. So that would be 2 plus 8 is 10. 10 minus 5 is 5. So the point P is 1 5. Then when x equals to 4, y equals to 2 into 4 plus 8 by 4 squared minus 5. So this would be 4 2s are 8. 8 plus 8 by 4 squared is 16. 8 by 16 is half minus 5. This would be 5 minus 8 minus 5 is 3, 3 and a half. That means 7 by 2. So the coordinates of Q is 4 comma 7 by 2. So we know the coordinates of P and Q. Now we can find the area like this. Equation, first of all, for the equation we need the gradient of PQ because it's a regular line. So gradient of PQ equals to y2 minus y1. So 7 by 2 minus 5, x2 minus x1, 4 minus 1. So 7 by 2 minus 5 is 5 to the 10. 7 minus 10 is minus 3 by 2 divided by 3. So that is going to be minus half. So minus half is the gradient of the line PQ. So the equation of PQ is going to be y minus y1. Let's take the first point, 1, 5. So y minus 5 equals to minus half x minus 1. So we are going to get 2y minus 5 to the 10 minus x plus 1. So this would be 2y equals to minus x plus 11. Therefore y would be minus x plus 11 by 2. So minus half x plus 11 by 2. So that would be y. So now we are ready to find the area. So therefore area equals to, the limit is 1 to 4, equation of YL is minus half x plus 11 by 2 minus equation of the curve, let me check the equation of the curve, 2x plus 8 by x squared minus 5. 2x minus 8 by x squared minus 5. So we need to give a bigger bracket. So that's it. Now let's simplify this a little bit. So minus x by 2 minus 2x is going to be minus half minus 2 is minus 2 and a half, which is minus 5 by 2x. Then we have 11 by 2 minus minus plus 5. So 5 plus 11 by 2. So 5 plus 11 by 2 is 21 by 2. So this would be plus 21 by 2. And we have minus minus plus 8 by x squared, which can be written as 8 x to the power minus 2 dx. So we can integrate this like this. So minus 5 by 2, x becomes x squared by 2, plus 21 by 2, it becomes x. This will become x to the power minus 2 plus 1 is minus 1 divided by minus 1, and we don't have to give the plus c because we have a limit 1 to 4. So this is going to be minus 5 by 4. Now let's put the value of x squared as 4 squared plus 21 by 2. Let's put the value of x as 4. Now 8 by minus 1 is minus 8, and downstairs comes x. So if we put 4 here, it will be here. So now if I put 1 here, it will be minus 5 by 4 into 1 squared plus 21 by 2 into 1. Then it will be minus 8 by 1, x to the power 1 is 1. So that's the idea. So let's do the calculation now. So the calculation would be, okay, so the calculation would be 4 square is 16. 16 by 4 is 4. So minus 5 into 4. Then we have 4 by 2 is 2. 2 into 21 is 42. So this is going to be plus 42. Then we are going to have minus 8 by 4. 8 by 4 is 2. So minus 2. So when you do calculation, do some of the calculation in your head and the rest in the calculator. So it is going to be 2 minus, so this one is going to be minus 5 by 4. So minus 5 by 4. This is going to be plus 21 by 2. So plus 21 by 2. This is going to be minus 8. This is going to be minus 8. This will be shift ABC 5 by 4. So when we have 20 minus 5 by 4, it is going to be, so 20 minus 5 by 4, and it is going to be 75 by 4. I just noticed one thing here. I think this should be plus. I just noticed this. I think it was plus in the original question, so that makes this, we have to correct this one. So this one is going to be minus. Plus into minus is minus. So everything else is fine except for this sign. So that means we have to recalculate this. So be very careful to look at the question. My problem is I have to go back and forth, that's why this mistake was made. So this would be minus, and minus and minus, this would be plus, and this would be plus. So let me do the calculation offline now to save some time. Let me do the calculation. Offline. Let me take a pause. Okay, I did the calculation, and now it is 6 whole 3 by 4. That means the answer should be 27 by 4. So 27 by 4 should be the actual answer. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. Now the final question is a question about increasing function. This is question number B. It's a question about increasing function. So let me tell you a little bit about increasing function. If y is an increasing function, then dy by dx, the derivative, is greater than 0. Or if fx is an increasing function, f prime x is greater than 0. On the other hand, if it was a decreasing function, then dy by dx would be less than 0, or f prime x would be less than 0. So that's what is the meaning of increasing and decreasing function. Remember that. So here the question was, y is an increasing function. If y is an increasing function, let's differentiate dy by dx. 2x is going to be 2, 8, x to the power minus 2 is going to be minus 8 to the 16, so minus 16, x to the power minus 3, and 5 disappears, so this would be 2 minus 16 by x cubed. So increasing function means dy by dx is greater than 0. That means 2 minus 16 by x cubed is greater than 0. So that means 2 is greater than 16 by x cubed. If we cross multiply, it becomes x cubed is greater than 16 by 2. 2 8 is 16. It could be written as x cubed is greater than 2 cubed. Therefore x is greater than 2, and that's all they proved, asked for.